Sorry to keep you waiting.
Hello, Wee. How are you?
Really good. How about you?
Very good. So happy to see you one more time and happy new year. So our first
Good to
class of
you.
the year. And also, so here I'm looking at some things. So I see that next class we are going to finish the course. It means you have an evaluation, a test.
Okay.
So let me see. So I want you to be ready. I want you to be ready for the next class. That is gonna be your evaluation of the course. So I'm gonna mix up many things in this test so that you may learn, so that we can evaluate all these parts that are very important that we have to cover in the next class. So we're gonna do it this way. And let me see, can you tell me, last week, did you know that last week there was no class due to the holidays and stuff?
I don't really know. As
Oh yeah,
last week I have to prepare for this week test. This week I have the final term test, so I have to like revision a lot.
okay, I thought you saw the notifications, I think, Shem, right?
Yes.
The coordinator, all right, my supervisor, she notified to all the students from since December 3rd, the 31st to January 4th, there was
Yeah.
no class on iGens. And I actually, because I think it was because of the holiday celebrations, right? The holiday celebration, and due to this reason, last week there was no class for any of the students at the iGems. So, anyways, so welcome to the class one more time. Let's get
Yeah.
started today with a new positivity level, new energies, all right, and new passion.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so I wanted to ask you, do you remember what you and I talked in our previous lesson?
Yeah. In general, we talk about reported speech in the last class, and then I remember we talked about homophones and how to turn from direct speech to reported speech.
That is correct. So I'm afraid, I think I gave you a homework, right? Did you share it on Zalo?
Sorry, as last time I had to like take a lot of revisions for this weekend, this week.
Okay, no problem. That'll be fine. So, anyways, let me do something here. I'm gonna review, I'm gonna summarize, the previous lesson so we can refresh a bit more, and then we continue with a new one. So let me show you here. I'll share my screen to you and give me just one little second. I need to look for something real quick. I'm coming right away. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay, like I said before, we're gonna review this part of the previous lesson. Let me share my screen to you.
Okay.
Okay, last class we talked about reported speech. Also, we
Yeah.
covered this part about the Eiffel Tower, which is a very outstanding monument. So when we talk about tourism all over the world, the first thing that for many people that comes to their mind is the Eiffel Tower. So we covered this part. So completed this exercise, like answering the questions. So money over different tenses. All right. So
Yeah.
we spoke about direct reported speech. I'm sorry. The difference between the reported speech and direct speech. All right.
Yeah.
So, and at the end of the way, so we completed the exercise and I gave you an assignment that we can do this for the next week. All right. You can send
Yeah.
me, it's no problem. So something I want to let you know that when we talk about direct report to the speech, all right. So you are not referring directly to the object, but you're doing it indirectly, which means, for example, we have this one. My sister told me, okay, she
Okay.
wasn't feeling good. So you're talking about, all right? You're talking about the subject, I mean. So you're talking about the subject, and when you do so, so you are doing it like indirectly. So this way, for example, my sister. You are not talking about yourself. However, you're talking about somebody else. For example, my sis, okay, my sister told
Hết tuần sau.
she wasn't, all right, she wasn't feeling well. You're referring to somebody else, all right? You are addressing somebody else that is not you. So there we have something. I would like to share this. Let me see, give me a second. I want to share this on Zalo. Give me 1 second. And we are also going to review this part. Like may add it to the test. So look at this, Win.
Okay.
Nóng không? Nóng hả?
Can you see it well?
Yeah, I can say it well, really well.
Well, like I said before, we use reported speech to report what someone has said without using their exact words, right? And we change the speech to reported speech, and we usually change the verb form to go on 1/10 back. So
Yeah.
something we need to know here, for example, in present direct speech. So here are some differences. In direct speech, all right?
Yeah.
For example, I tell you something. Direct speech, I tell you something. Reported speech, I was told that my sister said something, right? You're
Okay.
referring to
Okay.
somebody else. But there is a difference that we have between both the speeches. Direct speech, you refer to yourself. You use your own words. All right, reported speech, you're referring to what is being said or what somebody else said. All right, and you're making reference about that. So grammar, let's talk about the proper grammar to use in the context of those speeches. So for the direct speech, you're going to use present continuous. For the reported speech, you're going to use past continuous. Let's see here. Look at the example. She's sleeping, all right? You say, she's sleeping, comma, he said. Look at the difference now. Reported speech. Instead of using present continuous, you are going to use past continuous. Look at here the difference. He said.
She was sleeping.
Okay, so no comma was used. All right. So let's see the other one. Past simple.
to past perfect. Oh,
And then let's see the example. He fell
okay.
over, comma, he fell over, he said.
Oh,
So then in the other case was gonna be past perfect.
yeah,
And then,
like he said he had fallen over.
okay, so we have the other context here. Okay, with one, comma, divided by a comma, one more time, then,
He said.
and then if you see the other example, so we have past perfect and it starts at the beginning of the sentence compared to the other one. And no comma is added to it. So can you read it for me?
Okay. He said they had won.
He said they have one. Okay, but in the other case, we have with one. He said it's not at the beginning in the first case. However, in the second case, you can see he said, all right, they have won. And after that, we see no comma is added, no comma is strong. All right.
Yes.
And then continues with the past perfect.
Yep. Okay.
One main characteristic I want you to know that is very important, that in the reported speech, most of the cases you're gonna see the different or multiple past tenses. Keep this in mind.
Okay.
So we have some sections, all right, that I'm gonna show you now. So we can see here, direct speech, we have can. For example,
She can swim. She can swim. He said, comma, and he said.
Because you stop a little bit to say what you're gonna refer about, all right?
Yeah.
So yes, in direct speech, she can swim, all right? But you first refer, all right, to the person directly. You pose in your speech, when you are saying you pose and you have a comma, and it's pretty much a compound sentence. Ever since you have a comma, it's pretty much a compound sentence. On the contrary, in the reported speech, you have no comma. That means it's not a compound sentence. And you start with a verb that is on the, and you start a sentence that is on the past, either past continuous, past perfect, or any other past that is referring at the beginning of the sentence. All right.
Okay. Can I ask? I have heard. No, I have read about something on one website that they said that sometimes we don't need to turn past simple into past perfect. I want to add. Is that right?
Yeah, that is possible. Sometimes that's what I'm saying to you, that there are some sections. Like I said before, that is pretty much what I'm saying at the beginning. There are some sections. So here I'm gonna show you some of them. Look at this one, the case of, obviously, let me see, the case of wool. Okay, I'm gonna finish with this one and then I'm gonna show you the case of wood.
Okay.
So look at here. So she can swim, he said. So then you have could, all right? That is a past tense of can. And it can also be a conditional form as well.
Yes.
Entails for standing for possibility. He said she could swim. All right.
Okay.
So look at this. So you have will. All right. You have will. But in the reported speech, instead of having like a past tense or maybe a past perfect, so you have would. Look at this section. They will be late, he said.
And then he said they would be late.
And in that case, maybe the sentence might have had probably a past perfect, but it's using would.
Okay.
You get my point? So it's not
Yeah,
using,
pretty much.
yeah, And well, actually, it's using a past tense at the beginning of
Okay.
a sentence as regular, but it could have maybe a past perfect. He had been late or something like that, or maybe I'm
Okay.
sorry, that's not correct. For example, he had taken something. For example, all
Okay.
right, just an
All
example,
right. All right.
and then it was using the sentence was using would. He said they would be late. Got the point?
Yes.
So let's see here. We also have some examples, all right? We also have some examples that I want you to read. So look at look at some examples here. So important, that is part of a rule. The pronouns often change. So I would like you to read these examples.
Okay. I'm tired, she said. And we have, she said she was tired.
Okay,
Next, we are upset. They
upset.
said. And then we have, they said they were upset.
Time expressions. Let's see what's happened with time expressions. You know,
Okay.
when there are time expressions in sentences, all right?
Yeah.
So they often change. This is one more thing I want you to know. When there are time expressions, there will be changes. Look at there.
Okay. I saw Tom yesterday.
And then,
And then he said he had seen Tom the day before. Okay. Yesterday to
see?
the day before. Yes.
And it's kind of like the change you have to the time expressions or adverb of time, let's say. So makes a meaningful change in the context of the sentence. It's referring about an action that is on the past, but it is making more emphasis in which day or when the action was gonna take place or was taking place, all right?
All right.
Took place in this particular context. Direct speech and reported speech. So direct speech,
Today to that day.
today,
Tonight.
right? So
Yeah.
let's say the time. Let's talk about time. In direct speech, you refer about today. Reported speech, you
We
refer
use
about that day.
that day. Okay.
So in direct speech, you refer about tonight, all right? Present. And then
Yeah.
reported
Then in
speech,
reported speech, we use that night.
direct speech,
Next week, I think we can use the following week here.
sorry?
I think we can use the following week in reported speech.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yesterday to the day before. And finally, we have last month or last year
Last year.
to the month and the year before in reported speech.
That is correct. That is totally correct.
Yeah.
So up to this point, did you understand very well this part?
Yeah, I think I understand really well.
Okay, amazing. So look at there. So I don't remember if we managed to complete this exercise. Did we?
I think we haven't done this before.
We've done, right? So anyway,
No. Okay.
so let's continue. So
Okay.
now let's continue with lesson 5C. I mean, give me a second. Something I want to make sure of. Some mistake here. It's in fact is 6C. But anyways, just a mistake. So that'll be 6C, even if it's 5, just need to correct it. Anyways, so culture crime writer. Let me see if I still have the ability to correct this. Let me see if I can. Oh, it doesn't allow me to edit. No problem. I'm just gonna leave it like that. And we know that this is 6C.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go.
Crime
So
novel.
listen to this. So we're gonna be talking about a crime novel. What is a crime novel? Listen carefully. Let me see if the audio works for me.
Lesson 6C, exercises 3 and 4.
Okay.
He walked
Doesn't
towards the
have it.
house and saw a room with a light on.
Okay, doesn't have it here. No problem. I thought it was gonna be in the audio. Anyway, let me ask you. Let's talk about a crime novel. Do you have any idea what a crime novel is?
I think it's like a kind of a detective story that tell about fiction crime like that.
That is correct. Like, fictions and especially things related to investigations and things that happens, all related to crimes. That's right.
Yeah, yes.
So let me see, what kind of characters or what characters and events would you expect to see in a crime novel?
I think, in my opinion, I think that like the most popular character may appear in a novel, maybe thieves or burglars. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Barbara, Steve, we cannot miss police officers. You cannot.
Yeah. And I think also a murderer.
Yeah, also detectives. Detectives cannot be. Also, all detectives cannot be missed, all right, in this kind of novels.
Yeah.
Regularly, they are part of them. They are part of the staff. So let's see here. Number 2. So we're going to read the first paragraph of a story by the crime writer Edmund Crespi. Then, so we are going to decide what the job is. So look at here. Can you read this paragraph?
Okay. Max Leinster went through the small side gate and saw the large house in front of him. Not far away, a church clock told him that it was 10 o'clock. He had half an hour to do the job. At midnight, a private plane would take off for Europe from a lonely field in Norfolk, and Leinster planned to be on it, even if his last job in England was not successful.
Listen, so let me ask you something. What kind of job, all right? What kind of job do you think, all right? What kind of job do you think the person is having here? So we are referring about someone, all right?
Okay.
And someone, and also this person has to deal with a church clock, and then the church clock told him that it was 10 o'clock. But in your opinion, so it's referring to Max Leinster. What do you think was his job? What do you think his job was?
Let me see. I think, of course, in my opinion, I'm quite sure that he was not a criminal, and maybe he's an officer. Yeah.
Okay, in your opinion, you think he's an officer. Okay, so let me see here if the audio works for me. I'll try to play it.
Okay.
He looked quickly.
Exercises 3 and 4.
Carefully.
He walked towards the house and saw a room with a light on. He looked quickly through the window and saw that it was the servants' room. Then he moved round the building and climbed to the upstairs room that his orders had described. It was not difficult to reach, and the window was unlocked, as promised. He stepped inside and waited.
Okay.
After a moment, he heard someone coming and moved quickly and silently across to the door. He hid behind it. It opened slowly. Someone put on the light. The man who came in was about 35 years old. He had fair hair, and the right arm of his coat was empty.
Mr. Elliston,
Leinster said from behind him. Jacob Elliston turned quickly. He looked at Leinster for a moment, then said,
"So you're the person they sent?" "I'm who they sent,"
agreed Leinster. Elliston closed the door.
"We have to be quick,"
he said.
"You have guessed that this is my wife's bedroom. She's downstairs with her brother, but he'll leave to catch his train in a minute or two, and she'll come up to bed." Leinster looked at his watch, but said nothing.
Okay.
"Please understand," Elliston went on, "that you will get no money if you don't succeed in killing the lady."
Leinster finished for him with a smile.
"Yes, I understand, Mr. Elliston. It's cash on delivery. You have the cash ready, I hope."
Elliston took a gun from his pocket.
"Don't try that,"
he said.
"The money is safe in my bedroom. If you want it, you'll have to finish the job." "Of course,"
said Leinster, smiling.
"You must use both hands,"
said Elliston. Leinster looked at the empty arm of the other man's coat.
"Yes, that's sensible,"
he said.
"They always look for clues like that."
"And you must pretend there was a burglary," said Elliston. "Take that jewellery box. There's nothing valuable in it, but you could not know that because it's locked." Still holding his gun, Elliston moved towards the door.
"I'm going to my bedroom, where I shall turn my radio on loud."
He opened the door a little. "That's my wife's brother leaving now. She's tired and will come up almost at once. I'll return with the money in 20 minutes.
Wow, a good story. Perfect.
Okay. So let me ask you something, all right?
Yeah.
Now that you listen, all right, the next part of the story. So let's continue, all right?
Yeah.
What do you think about the job?
Well, at first I have
I'm sorry.
yeah, at first I had thought that Max Lancer was like a thief, but when he talked with I don't remember, but maybe the host, and I think he was a detective, but finally I'm quite sure that he's like an assassin.
Okay, perfect. So let's continue. So now, as you know, if you want, we can listen again the story. So here we have an exercise. So I think you can do it. Do you remember well what you have listened? Or do you want me to replay again the audio? So we're gonna do this exercise. So we are going to choose the correct word in this sentence, in these sentences. Let me see. Let me just make sure that this is the same audio. If not, so we're gonna use it in the context of this exercise.
Lesson 6C, exercises 3 and 4.
He walked towards the house and saw a room with a light
Yeah.
on. He looked quickly through the window and saw that it was the servants' room. Then he moved round the building and climbed to the upstairs room
that his orders had described. It was not difficult to reach, and the window was unlocked, as promised. He stepped inside and waited. After a moment, he heard someone coming and moved quickly and silently across to the door. He hid behind it. It opened slowly. Someone put on the light. The man who came in was about 35 years old. He had fair hair, and the right arm of his coat was empty.
Mr. Elliston,
Leinster said from behind him. Jacob Elliston turned quickly. He looked at Leinster for a moment, then said,
"So you're the person they sent?" "I'm who they sent,"
agreed Leinster. Elliston closed the door.
"We have to be quick,"
he said.
"You have guessed that this is my wife's bedroom. She's downstairs with her brother.
But he'll leave to catch his train in a minute or two, and she'll come up to bed." Leinster looked at his watch, but said nothing.
"Please understand," Elliston went on, "that you will get no money if you don't succeed in killing the lady,"
Leinster finished for him with a smile.
"Yes, I understand, Mr. Elliston. It's cash on delivery. You have the cash ready, I hope."
Elliston took a gun from his pocket.
"Don't try that,"
he said.
"The money is safe in my bedroom. If you want it, you'll have to finish the job." "Of course,"
said Leinster, smiling.
"You must use
"Both hands," said Elliston. Leinster looked at the empty arm of the other man's coat.
"Yes, that's sensible,"
he said.
"They always look for clues like that."
"And you must pretend there was a burglary," said Elliston. "Take that jewellery box. There's nothing valuable in it, but you could not know that because it's locked." Still holding his gun, Elliston moved towards the door.
"I'm going to my bedroom, where I shall turn my radio on loud."
He opened the door a little. "That's my wife's brother leaving now. She's tired and will come up almost at once. I'll return with the money in 20 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see here. Let's see here what's going on. So let's complete this exercise. Okay, so
Okay.
Leinster climbs or looks into the servant's room. What's the right answer? Climbs or looks?
It's locked.
Okay, that's correct. Okay, Mr. Elliston has only got one arm, his left or right arm.
I think it's left arm.
Okay, Leinster will get the money when Elliston's brothers or wife is dead. Which
Absolutely, it's the wife.
of course. All right. Leinster agrees to use two guns or hands for the motor.
Two hands.
Okay, Leinster agrees to hide or to steal a jewelry, but so the motor looks like a burglary.
I think it's steal.
Okay. What's your opinion? Hide. Oh, you steal, right?
Yeah, I think it's steal.
Okay, Ellison and Leinster goes. Let me see. Alistair or Leinster goes into another bedroom to hide. Who is the
It's Allison.
the right one? Okay, so there are the answers. The first one, look. The second, left. Obviously, the wife, as it was referred, as it was mentioned. Four,
Yes.
the hands, as you say. Five is still. And number six, Ellison. That is correct. Great job.
Yeah.
So look at here. I don't think we may have time to do this. Let me see.
Oh,
Oh yeah, we have enough time. So read the, okay, so what we are gonna do here is to read the final part of the story. And then I'm gonna ask you, this list, I'm going to ask you if Lester follows the instructions. So I want you to listen and take and give me your own opinion. I want you to read it, I'm sorry. And
okay.
give me your own opinion about if whether he followed the instructions or he did not.
Okay. Lindsay hides in a cupboard, but instead of Mrs. Ellison, the next person to enter the room is Josephine, a servant, who tries on Mrs. Ellison's coat and some of her jewelry. It was then that Lindsay moved out of the closed cupboard. He went silently up behind her. He watched her face in the mirror and was still a meter or two away when she saw him and turned around. But his left hand was large and fast. It closed around her narrow throat. She made no sound as she died. Lindsay gently put her body on the bed, then covered her with a blanket. It took only a few minutes to open the cupboards and make them look untidy. He looked at the little jewelry box, then threw it under the bed. When Alistair entered the room again, he looked at the shape under the blanket. He said, It's done? Yes, said Lindsay. It's done. You're sure she's... Yes, Mr. Ellison, she's dead. Lindsay pulled a white hand from under the blanket. If you don't believe me, feel this. But Alistair jumped back, shaking. That ring, he says slowly, is one she owes most never. Lindsay dropped the hand. The money, Mr. Alistair, 5,000. The money was put silently into his hand. I'm going now, Mr. Alistair, says Linster. And then, with a smile, he said, Sorry, I can't stay and talk to that pretty little servant that your wife has. Alistair looked surprised. The, the girl? The girl, said Linster. I looked through the window of your servant's room before I climbed up here. And there she was, a pretty girl. I recognize her again anywhere, but I had this job to do, and you don't get paid until you've done the job, do you? It's cast on delivery, and a man must lie. I don't understand what you're talking about, say Alistair, but Leonard was already climbing out of the window. You will, Mr. Allison, he said. You will.
Okay, perfect. Let me ask you something. All right.
Okay,
So
okay.
here's a question for you. Do you think Elisa, do you think, all right, does Lister follow Elisa's instructions? What's
Well,
your,
surprisingly, Leinster doesn't follow Alistair's instruction.
did not, didn't.
Didn't, yeah.
Okay.
Instead, he killed the servant. Wow, poor the
Now,
servant.
you can see he definitely did not follow the instructions.
Yeah, poor the servant.
It's kind of like he wanted to do whatever he wanted, but the lesson he wanted to do based on the actions is to follow the instructions according to what we read here. So let me see something real quick. So here we have a vocabulary, fill in the blank exercise. Give me 1 second, I have to do something here in the computer, just 1 second.
Okay, okay.
I have to log your hours and, because I don't do it now, what's going to happen is that I may not report it. Just 1 second. It's going to be real quick.
Okay.
Oh, that's here. Okay, here it is.
Can I have some water?
Oh yeah, you can do it.
I'm quite thirsty.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and take it. So meanwhile, I'm just punching this hour, because I usually do before the class. But as we move, so I could not do it, and it's very important.
Okay.
Okay, so now I did. That's fine. I used it. I'm more relaxed because I didn't want to forget it. So just let me know once you're ready.
Okay. I'm finished.
Okay. So, oh, let me see. Oh, I did not realize that the webcam was like that. Maybe I move it. Let me see. Can you see me well?
Yeah, I consider you really well.
Okay, so let's continue. Then wait, let me go back to the presentation.
Okay.
Okay, here we are one more time. So vocabulary, right? Let's complete these expressions from the test with the correct preposition, right? So let's see.
Sorry, can you say it again? I can't see it.
Okay, you cannot see it.
Yes, yeah.
Let me reshare one more time. What about now? Can you see it now?
Okay. Okay.
So this is what we are going to do here. We are going to complete these expressions from the test with the correct preposition. So then we have 8 sentences. We're going to use the correct preposition to be able to exercise. Okay, let's see. Number 1, to move.
Move out of a cover.
Okay, so number 2, to go.
To go up behind somebody.
Number 3, to watch somebody.
In the mirror. In a mirror.
Okay, let me see. To move out, to go up, to watch somebody in a mirror.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4, to pull something from.
Oh wait. To move something from from under the blanket.
That's right. Number 5, to jump.
To jump back.
Okay, to jump back. So let me see here. Next one. So let me see.
Okay. To put something in, I think it's in somebody's hand.
Okay.
Okay,
To somebody's hands, right? Number 7, to look.
To look through a window.
That's right. Number 8.
To climb out of a window.
To climb out of a window. All right. So then let me ask you something. Here, I would like to ask you a few quick questions. That's real quick.
Okay.
Give me a second. Okay, first question. Does Linster kill the servant by mistake? How do you know?
I think Lister killed the servant deliberately. And the thing that I know is that through his speech like that, like sorry, I can't talk, and to that pretty little servant that your wife has, and then the girl, yeah,
Okay,
and oh,
why does
okay,
Lister only use one hand to kill her?
well, um, okay, I think it's he also used the left hand, and I think it was like to make the to make the situation like the like as Alistair killed the servant, not him.
Okay, and why does Lister hide the jewelry box under the bed?
Well, first the first Alison told him that to steal that jewelry box to make it like a burglar, but he didn't want to do that, so he hid the jewelry box under the bed.
Okay, so and why does Lister say you will at the end?
I think it's like to he like his intention is to make like teach Mr. Allison lesson like that.
That is right. So pretty much this is what is in particular. So wait, then let's talk about next class. All right, next class
Okay.
we're going to finish the course, as I can see here based on the record. So your last class of the course. So
Okay.
and then you might have an evaluation, a test. We're gonna continue with this one. Next
Okay.
lesson, letter D. Part of it we're gonna cover. I'm gonna see if I can include part of the lesson B in this, but that's gonna be after this. I'm gonna give you the test after the lesson. Obviously,
Okay.
it's not gonna be a big part of it. It's gonna be just a very little, something that I consider that is something I consider is important for you to learn. And I will be including some topics of many topics of what I have taught you before, so you can practice on that. Remember to practice with all the things I gave you since the last, let's say, 2 months. 2 months, and
Okay.
then all this content is gonna be in the class, in the test. Sorry. So
Okay.
let me give you a homework that is gonna be very simple. I want you to answer this well. Let me see. Let me see if I still have. No, I'm gonna do something. Did you see what I shared to you on Zalo?
I think it will need a few minutes as my internet is not so
Yeah,
good.
maybe it's not working. So what I shared to you on Zalo, okay, I want you to make sentences using the passive voice.
Well, passive voice. I think that this was a reported speech.
I mean, reported speech. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
Okay.
Using the. I keep myself thinking on passive voice because yesterday I was teaching that, and that's the confusion. That's why the confusion.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Reported
understand.
speech.
Sometimes I also like misunderstand about wish and if, conditional
So
sentence and wish.
give me just 1 second. Make sentences using the reported speech in the tenses already explained in class.
Okay.
So you make around, you can make around 10 sentences, and that'll
Okay.
be fine. So we see you in our next class. So you told me something, right? I did not manage to listen to you. I'm sorry about that because I was writing at the same time.
No, I just thought of something like sometimes I misunderstand about wish and the conditional sentence.
Oh, the conditional sentence. Okay, yeah, I do understand. Well, you know,
Yeah.
actually, the conditional sentence is the conditional sentence It's
Yeah,
when you
not.
can.
I mean, it not. This is not the popular type, but it's the zero type.
Oh, the zero type, all right. So I think we can include this in the test. If I mean, we can include this as a homework. What do you think? So maybe we can strengthen this part. You have difficulties with. What if you for the next class research about some examples on how to use the condition, the zero conditional, and the use of which?
Yes, perfect. That's what I need.
Yeah, and then you give me like two examples, all right? Two of
Okay.
two example with the zero conditional and two examples with which, and then we can compare this in the next class.
Okay.
Will that work for you?
Yeah, perfect. Thank
Perfect.
you.
So then we thank you so much for being active in the class and see you in the next class. Remember homeworks to homeworks. Remember the test, and I wish you all the best for you in your upcoming test.
Yeah, thank you, and
Have a
wish
good
you a
night.
happy new year.
Happy New Year and see you next class.
Yeah, see you later.
Bye. Wayne.
Goodbye.